but the future is unwritten, and history from this moment forward is yours to make. From this moment forward, we're going to organize, and we're going to vote, and we're going to register, and hopefully we're going to get that jackass out of office. But no matter which one of those multi-millionaires wins on November 2nd, it's going to be our job to continue to fight for human rights, economic justice, peace, women's rights, and social justice in your hometown, in your place of work, in your school, in your state, and in your country on November 3rd, and for every day forward. In the spirit of solidarity, resistance, and that most patriotic of words, dissent, is his house gone up in flames. It's in the grain of the wood, it's in the needle's rust, it's in the eagle's claw, it's in the eyes you trust. It's in the jackal's dreams, it's in the sleet and the hail, it's in the unmarked box, came today in the mail. It's in the dead man's pocket, it's in the child's first sin, it's in the Constitution, written in very small print. It's in Colin Powell's lies, it's in the shaman's trance, it's in the cellar waiting, and it's in the best laid plans. Now we could cut and run, take half the blame, but don't stop now, that's why we came. House gone up in flames. It's in the national anthem, it's in the scurrying roach, it's in the closed partition between first class and coach, it's in the relentless fever, it's in the lonely room, it's in the hands of fate, it's in the pharaoh's tomb, it's in the rich man's dreams, it's in the poor man's hands, it's in the body bags along the Rio Grande, it's in the evening shade, it's on the zealot's tongue, it's in the widow's tears, and it's in the miner's lungs. We could cut and run, take half the blame, but don't stop now, that's why we came. House gone up in flames. It's in the moon's dark spin, it's in the cloudless sky, it's in St. Peter's denial that he thrice denied. It's in the distant thunder, it's in the whispered prayer that they won't find us hidden here beneath the stairs. So consider yourself lucky and watch what you say. I got what I wanted, you might get the same. It's in bold print, nailed to the cathedral door. It's in the black cold pressure on the ocean floor. We could cut and run, take half the blame, but don't stop now, that's why we came. Oh Lord, house gone up in flames, flames. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, are you?
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Really, people interviewing, so this is like we have to be.
Jared.
I'll ask.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how long have you been doing your solo project for?
I don't really consider it a solo project. I've been playing Night Watchman songs that started about coffee houses and around LA, like at open mic nights about 2 years ago with some friends, and just kind of grew into a catalog of material. And I'd, whenever there was a benefit show for like striking grocery workers in LA or things like that, I'd have, I'd get the call, and here I am on the Rock Against Bush tour.
What made you come on this tour? What was the draw?
because I've been rocking against Bush for a long time now. This was one more opportunity to strike a blow against the empire.
Do you feel that people come here and don't expect to hear the kind of music that you're playing? Are they give you a good response or a bad?
Well, I think they definitely don't expect. I mean, it's in the middle of roaring punk voter. You can hear the feedback in the background right now. It's a pretty high octane tour, but you know, for the first 65 years of the now it's begun. For the first 65 years of the 20th century, protest music was played with an acoustic guitar, a harmonica, 3 chords, and the truth, and that's what I try to do with the Night Watchman stuff.
So why is it just, if it's not a solo project, why is it just you? What happened to?
Well, I don't think of it as a solo project because that's what I mean. I look at it as an extension of my political work rather than a solo project. You know what I mean? It's not like a project. It's songs I write and I believe in, and it doesn't interfere in any way with my audio slate.
So where does Night Watchman go from here?
To Chicago to visit the Night Watch mother for a while, and then I'm catching up with the tour again when they come through there, and we're playing through October 10th.
Is there going to be a CD coming out?
There's been a couple of Rock Against Bush CDs put out by Punk Voter. I don't believe there's I think Anti-Flag has contributed songs as well as Strike Anywhere, but there's no plans to have a CD for this tour.
But for Night Watchman, is there a CD plan?
No, I mean, I've got some songs, like I said, there's a song coming out on the Michael Moore soundtrack for Fahrenheit 9/11, and we're putting out an Axis of Justice concert series CD where there's a couple of Night Watchman songs on there too.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to go through a couple political questions in here. We were trying to get the youth voting.
Yeah.
We kind of need to tell people why it's so important not to believe the polls. Tell people why should people believe the polls that we are mainstream.
Let me get a little closer to the mic.
I mean, first of all, I said that the only way that change happens in 2 ways. One of the ways it can happen is people vote, and different candidates have different merits, and you should learn about them. And if you're not registered, you should vote because it's a democracy, and that's part of your job. But that's only one way that things change, and I don't think it's enough to just once every 4 years kind of cast your ballot into the void and cross your fingers and hope that the multimillionaire that wins is going to represent your interests. The way that we've gotten women's rights in this country and civil rights in this country, workers' rights in this country, is not from presidents or Supreme Courts. It's from people standing up and fighting for their rights. Average, ordinary, like people who are watching this show or listening to the show, whatever. It's people like you who helped to desegregate lunch counters, helped to give women the right to vote, helped to get an 8-hour workday. That's how change happens. You don't just hope that some, well-coiffed, white millionaire is going to one day wave a magic wand and improve your life. That's something that you have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, there's so much discontent with the youth voters. They don't want to go vote for the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the fart and the fault of the Democratic Party is that there's a huge seething massive resentment against the Bush administration, which has gone unharnessed by the Democratic Party, who's still trying to play for that margin of 3 to 5% that's between Republican and Democrat. Whereas there's this huge ocean of people to the left of the Democratic Party who don't feel like they're represented at all. People who don't want American soldiers dying from oil profits. People who want health care for them and their families. People who want decent education. People who want a clean environment. Up and down the list. Those are issues that neither party is really standing up for.
That's where Ralph Nader came in 2000.
Yeah.
Now that he's independent, you feel like he's still the spoiler.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's funny that Ralph Nader is referred to as a spoiler. Because it's odd that you have to feel guilty about who you vote for. You know what I mean? Like the candidate, last time around, I voted for Ralph Nader because he was the candidate of the ones running that best represented my views. In a democracy, that's the one you should be voting for. But the problem that we have is that you have to raise about $500 million in order to run for president, and that money doesn't come from janitors and doesn't come from students and doesn't come from steel workers. That money comes from huge multinational corporations who then, control the strings on the puppets of the politicians.
The gentleman was here a few months ago with Rock Against Bush, the first tour he's seen. 100,000 youth voters now.
Yeah.
That's how many youth voters this election would have been.
Yeah. I mean, the goal of Punk Voter is to register and have 500,000 new young voters voting between 18 and 35 vote. And if that happens, that will definitely determine the outcome of the election.
say to the youth voter to really get them out to vote?
To the youth voter to get them out to vote? I mean, all they have to do is look around them and see, like, do you want your country run by a bunch of billionaires and oil barons and people who could give a shit about what you and your family's needs? But the great trick of the Republican Party has been to convince working class Americans to vote and to work and to toil against their own interests and against the interests of their children.
The flag.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, you know, like by sort of waving on one hand these kind of evil puppets of taxation and patriotism, you know, kind of coming at you, that they've really been able to sort of pull the wool over Americans' eyes. But you see this tremendous growing hostility towards the Bush administration, not just here, but around the world.
With the media, how the media covers the war, you know, it's almost like a football game, how they cover it, they cover the war, you know, it's like they don't really show who's getting really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very Orwellian way that they've learned their lesson. The reason why the people of America stood up and stopped the Vietnam War was because they saw images on TV and read things coming from Vietnam about what was really happening. When you see little girls burned by napalm and your tax dollars are paying for it, you go, it's not so good. But we are not seeing the images of the Iraqi children who are torn apart by cluster bombs. There's 10 to 15,000 innocent civilians who have been killed in this war in Iraq. And like that's a murderous rampage that that is just completely blind to us. And I think if people knew what their tax money was going for, they wouldn't support it.
We give like a little ID, like, hey, come out, go out and vote, you know, Tom,
Yep.
go out and vote.
Hello, I'm Tom Morello, and I suggest that you go out and vote, because it's your damn country.
Can you give Jeff an ID saying I'm Tom Morello, like not Modelo? If you're watching Bohemia.
Hello, I'm Tom Morello, and Jeff is holding the camera, and you're watching Bohemia. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Cheers.